event management at the University of Chichester. And we have a panel of students and graduate students joining us today who will be answering all of your questions about careers in event management, how they got started, how they got their part-time jobs. They'll be telling you about their student experience, their favorite modules, their favorite lecturers, hopefully, and what you can do to establish your own brand, personal brand, so that you can foray in this industry. So this is going to be the first of 3 series of webinars. I will be sending out invitations to another webinar, which we will have in March. And that one is going to have the employers. So look out for the invitation. We're going to have employers from event companies who will be telling you what they look for in event management graduates, what their companies are like, the different roles, how to get jobs, and they'll be telling you as well what they like about Chichester graduates. So there's a lot of exciting content to come in the future. So without any further ado, I'll just tell you a little bit how we're going to run the webinar today. So we have 3 panelists, and they're going to tell you their graduate and student stories. And they're going to be doing presentations. And then after the presentations, they will then answer your questions. So if you want to come on camera and show yourself and ask questions using your video audio, that's fine. Or you can use audio only. Or if you prefer, you can put your questions in the chat and you could say who you're directing the question towards. And I will read out the question and let the person know who needs to answer that question. So just let me introduce myself before I get started. I'm Dr. Wendy Seeley, and I'm the program coordinator for the event management degree. And I've been teaching event management since 2009 at the University of Chichester. Love it. Event management is also my career background. It's an exciting career. It's a career full of possibilities, lots of exciting travel, meeting people, dressing up. Sometimes, you know, it has a balance. Sometimes you have to put on your sneakers and your jeans and get out there and get your hands dirty, but also there are times to be on the red carpet and dressing up and accepting awards and meeting people. So, but I'm not here to tell you about my story. I'm going to just turn it over to the panel. So first of all, let me introduce the panelists. We have Amy O'Connor, and Amy is an event producer at MCI, event management company based in Portsmouth. And Amy is also a graduate of the University of Chichester. We also have Ellie Reynolds, and Ellie is in her final semester, and she is an award nominee for sustainability. Ellie is also just gotten a full-time job with a wedding venue at Framebridge, and you are the marketing and event manager. So I understand she'll be talking about that. And then we have Paige White, who is a full-time student in event management. She's there waving. And Paige actually has a really great part-time job that she'll be telling you about. And that's with Rents Catering, doing weddings all over the country. So without any further ado, I'm just going to let the panel do their presentations. So Paige, are you willing to go first? Would you like to go first if you've got a presentation? Or are you going to talk? Because you can do a screen share.
I have emailed you my presentation, Wendy, just because I'm on my phone because my computer isn't working. So I don't know if you can share the screen so that everyone can see it that way.
Yes, okay. If you just let me pull that up, I'll just get the email, the presentation. It hasn't come through though, Paige.
2 seconds.
Oh, what we could do, we could let Ellie go first, and then I could find it afterwards. So what I'll do, Ellie, if you would like to start first and do your presentation, and then that would give me time to find pages.
Yep, no worries. I'll just share my screen.
Okay. All right, so I just turned the meeting off to Ellie.
Oh, that's the last slide. Hang on. Can you all see this? Yeah, perfect. Amazing. So, yeah, like Wendy said, my name is Ellie Reynolds. I am 23 years old and I'm currently in my 3rd year at the University of Chichester studying marketing and event management. So I work at an absolutely beautiful wedding venue in West Dean as the events and marketing manager. And I'm also a singing teacher for 10 to 18-year-olds. So I've completed 19 modules so far throughout my 3 years at university, and I'm currently on week 4 of my 10-week placement. So in my first year, during the module social media marketing, we were tasked with creating a personal brand and presenting it back to our peers. And this was a great introduction to get us thinking about ourselves and our brand and what we wanted that to look like. Mine's changed completely since that first year, but I much prefer it now. In my second year, we were given the opportunity to plan and create an awards ceremony for the Jump Awards, which is a sustainability scheme at the university. So here's some pictures from the awards. When we started planning the event, we were going to have it at the university. However, COVID hit, and we had to make the quick decision to design and create the virtual award ceremony instead. So Wendy was actually incredibly supportive and helped make it all possible. And we ended up filming the awards in my friend's garden with the 2-meter gap between us both. And one of the other girls in my group created these amazing awards that you can see here out of old vinyl records. They were absolutely amazing. Also in my second year, for the module Sustainable Business and Circular Economy, I created a presentation, and my lecturer decided we should enter it into the Green Gown Awards, which is a national awards which celebrates sustainability excellence. So after quite a long application process, including making a little video and everything, I found out I was a finalist, which was very exciting. So I didn't win the awards, but my story made it into the Chichester Observer, which has been pretty cool. Anyway, onto my job. So I saw a stall for Farbridge at my Freshers' Fair during first year. They were advertising waitressing jobs for their wedding venue. So I signed up and had my first shift in November 2019. So apart from a few months where COVID ruined everyone's lives, I worked there while completing my first and second years at university. So last August, just before my third year, they asked if I'd like to help them in the office. And then they offered me my current role, which is events and marketing manager. And I'm doing this part-time right now while I finish my degree and do my dissertation and stuff. And as soon as that's finished, I'll be offered it full-time at the end of June, which is so exciting. I can't wait. So here's just some pictures of me at work. I absolutely love my job. So part of my role includes setting the tables. So this first picture is the table layout that we did last week. It was really simple, really elegant. I loved it. The picture under that is the whole barn from that same wedding, just so you can get a feel for it. And they also had this amazing cheese and charcuterie station in the middle, which I designed and set up for them. And we had our in-house catering team provide all the food, and it looked amazing. This last picture is me tweaking a table a couple of weeks ago. And tweaking is where we go around each table, ensuring everything is absolutely perfect. You can probably see from this front one, everything has to be lined up absolutely perfectly. And we check all the cutlery, glassware, it's all polished, everything like that after it's been set up from our setup team. So we entered the Wedding Industry Awards this year, and we won Barn of the Year at the Regional Awards back in January. And we have the National Awards tomorrow night in London, which is very exciting. So like Wendy said, half of the job is hard graft and the other half is accepting awards. And it's just been amazing. So these are photos from the January awards. And so we're actually currently always hiring. We're hiring casual staff. So if you are looking for a job, definitely get in touch. I've popped our main info email on screen, but you can also email me, els@farbridge.org.uk, if you want to work in the industry. So a little bit more about me. I do run a singing group in Havant for 10 to 18-year-olds called the Urban Vocal Group. We have performed at the Wedgwood Rooms, we've performed at the Guildhall, and we do a set at Victorious Festival every year. We have 4 groups. I run the Haven't one, and each group has 1 session a week. We also run summer workshops. So this picture on the right is me getting ready for the summer workshop. I don't work outside every week. So the reason I'm telling you all about this bit is because I definitely would not have had the confidence to do any of the things that I do with my singing group if it wasn't for the support that I've had from the university. So if I look back 5 years ago, honestly, I wouldn't even do an online presentation like this, let alone stand in front of a group of 10-year-olds every week and teach them something that I love. So the university are incredible with all sorts of support. They've made me more confident. They've made me believe in myself. And I know that they're going to continue to support me like after I've graduated as well. So yeah, they are great. I can't recommend enough. And last but not least, I run an Instagram account called Simply Sustainable Events, which I showcase the other events I organise that are separate to my job, completely separate, including graduation parties, hen parties. I also did my brother's wedding, which is the picture on the right. I also advertise event props. So while we were all in lockdown, I made this ladder on the left. Out of an old ladder, we sanded it all down, cut all the holes out, and made the Prosecco ladder. So that was at my sister's hen do, which was really cool. So eventually I'd like to rent all that out for events and make more things like that because I love DIY. But yeah, I'm just starting with all that at the moment. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on. I've popped my contact details on screen here if anyone just wants to chat. But does anyone have any questions for me right now?
Okay, probably not yet. But what we'll do, thank you so much, Ellie. I didn't even know all those things about you, so I'm still learning about who you are. Fantastic job, and congrats on your nomination for the Sustainability Awards. So what I'll do, I've got your presentation, so I'll let you do yours. And then at the end, if anybody thinks of any questions, then you can put them in the chat and we can have a further conversation after that. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see Paige's presentation. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so I'll just put it on slideshow. It's just not working. Here we go. Okay, Paige, you go ahead. Just tell me when to change the slide. Over to you.
So hello everyone, my name is Paige White. I'm a 2nd year event management student and I work part-time as an event manager at Wren's Catering. So the next slide please, Wendy. So basically I actually took a year out, and I feel like this is a massive thing, part of it, because I took a year out due to having a child, and the whole university was so supportive about this, and it just goes to show that you can do things alongside your degree, and how supportive the university are coming back. It was so easy to just come back and get back into it and everything like that. So the University of Chichester, the next slide please. So what is an event manager? I just put an event manager's plan and organises promotional, business and social events. They're responsible for running a range of events, ensuring the target audience is engaged and that the message of events comes across properly. I feel like this is a massive part of it, because when you feel like you think about event management or events, you just think that you're going to be there looking pretty on the day, and it's not just about that. That's so much behind it as well. So the year 1 modules, again, I think Ellie ran through these, but just these are my year 1 modules and what we've done. So we've done the management and organisations, the event planning, design and creation, social media marketing, the mindset, the marketing principles, the awareness, the academic and professional skills, and then the tourism and event management. They do differ, obviously, if you're taking alongside, like Ellie's doing events and marketing, I'm just doing purely event management. So the next slide, please, Wendy. So what is the event course like? So again, during year one, we started planning our Jump Awards. My original Jump Awards was meant to be the Jump Awards with Ellie, which obviously I took the year out. So we are doing that this year. And thankfully, they're all face-to-face again, which we're all really excited about. This gets your event planning skills activated. Like, I feel like on this module, you really get the fire in your tummy. You get to decide what decorations you want and like what food you'll serve, absolutely everything. And then my favourite module was the event planning, design and creation. This is because you get a real feel of what it's like to be an event manager, and you get to submit the event proposal, which you actually, in my job at Wren's Kitchen, we do. We submit the event proposal to all the brides to make sure that that's how their day's going to run. So that's really good because it gives you the correct way of learning. And then the second one, please, Wendy. So these are my year 2 modules, which I'm doing half of them now. Obviously, I've done 4 in semester 1. So that's project management, creating a sustainable competitive advantage, purple goldfish, sustainable business, planning and managing events, the professional graduate, operations management and data research. You get to choose 2 of these. So I chose the purple goldfish and the creating a sustainable competitive advantage for both of mine. And then the next slide, please, Wendy. So far, the sustainable business is my top module so far of year 2. Obviously, we haven't finished the last 4, but I feel like this is because becoming sustainable is such a part of life now and what it's going to be. I feel like 10 years ago, businesses weren't thinking about becoming sustainable, whereas now they are. So the more knowledge you can get on it now whilst entering the events just means that you can use everything that you're learning, which is really important. And then the next slide, please. So Wren's Kitchen. Wren's Kitchen is a catering. It's a catering company that cater for weddings, conferences and bespoke events. So could you pop on the next slide for me? So when they start off with it, that you start off with obviously going onto the website, etc. But alongside your catering, you get an event manager for your whole day, which is where I come in. So I'm the 3rd event manager there. During 2019, pre-pandemic, they catered for over 100 weddings. That's just weddings alone. And now this year they're looking to cater for over 150 weddings, which is going to be a busy summer. I had the first one on Friday. It was a 19-hour day in London. It was so fun. And before you know it, the day has just gone. I think I left at 6 in the morning and I got home at 3 in the morning. So it was really long, but it was so fun. And it was just, it's amazing seeing it all come together because Wren's Kitchen are part of the designing as well. So we design all the centerpieces on the table. We set it all up. We go through everything with the bride beforehand on what she wants. And then on the day, you have all these plans, all these drawings, or floor plans. And just to see it come together is so beautiful. So the next slide, please. So the job role within Wren's, so a week before the event is due to take place, we get a brief that, like I said, that will be emailed over to me. So the event planner, which is in Wren's as well, They go through all of this with the bride, make sure it's all up to scratch, and then they email it over to me, the event manager. I then contact the bride myself. So we make contact with them, make sure that they know who I am, instead of on the day just walking up to someone and then being like, oh, who are you? We just want to make sure that we're there all the time. Once contact has been made, we'll run through the day, making sure everything's okay. On Friday, we had to travel up to London, and when we got there, the bride was there. She was there half an hour before her day start, like before the ceremony started. And that was just mental. I was like, you need to go and get ready. And then that morning, I then travelled to the venue. We set up, we design the room how the bride wants it. We have a team meeting to make sure that everyone knows what they're meant to be doing. Go and greet the bride as well, the main part. And then when the event's finished, we make sure everything went okay, go over, make sure you say bye, make sure everything went okay for her. So it's a real hands-on. Being an event manager is so hands-on. You've got to stay in contact all the time, which is really nice. And then the next one. So I got this job role through Wendy at the university. So Kelly, who the senior event manager is at Wren's Kitchen, is a previous student at the University of Chichester who also done event management. So Wendy sent the email out to say that it was available, and I cannot tell you how quickly I submitted my CV, like within seconds. And then Kelly gave me a call. We had an interview over the phone, yeah. And then I went in and we had an interview face to face, and I actually got it offered on the spot, which was really good. I'm so passionate about weddings. It's what I base my personal brand on, which again, as Ellie said, in year one, when we done our personal branding module, I never expected it to be about weddings, but I just absolutely love them. So yeah, it's just amazing, and it goes to show how much that the university and your lecturers support you, and that they send these jobs out, and that we get them. So that's really good. And then the final one is just some photos of the wedding. So this was actually a Lord of the Ring themed wedding. You can't really see it on these photos, but up close, all the table settings, the seating plan, and all the notes, they were all Lord of the Rings, and it was just really cool. So yeah, that's what I do. Any questions?
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Paige. I'm just trying to find where everybody is. I think, okay, here we are. I think this is the page. I'll just stop sharing. Right, thank you so much, Paige. I hope you all enjoyed listening to Paige's story. And now we are going to be moving on to Amy O'Connor, the assistant event producer at MCI. So Amy, it's over to you. I can't hear you.
You're muted, Amy.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, good start. Sorry. Okay, can you see my slide okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. That's great. Thank you. So yeah, hi everyone. My name's Amy O'Connor, and I graduated from the University of Chichester this summer just gone, so 2021. Sorry, my PowerPoint slides seem to be stuck. There we go. So this is me at graduation. You can see Wendy here as well, and all my colleagues. So that was in August. Thankfully, the COVID restrictions had eased by then, and we were able to actually have our graduation, which was outside in a marquee, but nonetheless, it was still an amazing day. So since I graduated in university, actually the day after my graduation, I delivered an event for an estate agents that are based in Portsmouth called Jeffreys and Dibbons. So I've worked at the company since I was 16, and they asked me to deliver their corporate party, which was to celebrate 25 years of the company. So I worked with the managing director of the company. We had over 500 people at the event. It was outside at Queen Elizabeth Country Park, which is just near Petersfield Way. And we had a whole range of activities. We had stilt walkers, we had caricaturists, balloon artists, singers, dancers. It was a really great day. The picture up here, a few of the girls that was actually in my course at university helped out on the day as well. But everything, I wouldn't have been able to put that event on and do everything if it wasn't for the time that I had at university. So even things like dealing with suppliers, the client, kind of getting people on board, dealing with the risk assessments, which is such a huge part that people don't think of, all the legislations, contracts. There's so much to actually organising an event that people don't really think about. Everyone just kind of goes, oh, you're a party planner, how hard can it be? When actually this is exactly what the managing director realised. I said to him, I said, have you got staff for the day? Have you got their public liability insurance? Have you got this? Have you got that? He was like, oh, I didn't know if you needed any of that. So that was really great to step in and be able to work as my first project on that with him. So now I work for a company called MCI UK. I actually got the job through LinkedIn. So I put a post on LinkedIn saying that I just graduated, that I got first class honours, and the event that I was doing for Jeffreys. And then the managing director of MCI then contacted me. But we do actually have one of the University of Chichester's previous students, Hannah Jarvis. She also works at the company as well. So I think when the director contacted Hannah to say, oh, you know, Amy, and that obviously really worked in my favour. So it just goes to show, like Ellie as well, and like Paige, how kind of relationships through the university help you to get these jobs. So at MCI, our tagline is tomorrow's people, so that we're always innovative and looking forwards. We offer a range of different services, as you can see along the side there. It is a global company. I'm based in Portsmouth. We have another office in London, and then it's headquartered in Geneva in Switzerland, but there are offices all over the world. So my role, so I'm an assistant producer, so I'm split between two different teams within the company, and this is a really important part that I just want to link back to the university as well, because you have to be agile, which I've really kind of understood as I'm going through the role. Every single day is different. You have to be able to quickly swap and change, and with an events course, that's everything that you learn. You're doing different elements constantly. So 50% of my time is split between it's on association, solutions and consultancy. So just to explain, an association, so essentially an organisation that have a membership, and they're engaged and supportive of the promotion of business interests. So we work with different medical clients, so different societies and organisations essentially that are non-profit. So for the association solutions, we are the client, we act on behalf of the client. So for example, if someone was to email the client, it would come to us. We do everything on their behalf. In terms of the events that I've been organising for them, it's like I say, the clients are in the medical industry, so it's very much educational based, between doctors and surgeons, and raising awareness, different training programs. So they do masterclasses, webinars, they have their annual conferences, training programs and meetings, everything that we have to facilitate. And then the other % of my time, I'm a professional congress organizer with the other team, and then that's planning and executing conferences, again on behalf of associations. So in this wheel here, I just found this online, but I thought this was really interesting to show a snapshot of all the kind of things that it covers, what I would do in my role. Here you can just see, so the European Society of Coloproctology, so that's one of our clients. And then we also deal with the European Society of Cataract and Refractive Surgeons. So like I say, very medical based. That's kind of what the company specialises in. So just to give you an insight from the other team, so the professional congress organisers, as soon as I joined the company, I got thrown straight in the deep end and helped them to deliver their first hybrid event, which was called King's Live. So this is an annual event that the company run for King's Live. It's a live endoscopy. Which is just crazy to see. So it's essentially live surgery. It's at King's College Hospital in London, and we directly live streamed from the operating theatre through to one of the lectures, and then we had halls and exhibitions of all the different sponsors showing their different tools and surgical equipment. So my role in this event was managing with the sponsors and the faculty, so all the doctors and the surgeons, all the speakers, guest speakers, things like that, and then arranging a conference dinner. So each of the evenings of the event, we had different sponsored dinners. One night we had a conference dinner for 130 guests. So that was a great element of it as well. It was really nice to be able to get the balance and do the fun, I guess, kind of dinner social element, but then also the strategic planning of the actual conference itself. And again, this is something that I would never ever be able to do if it wasn't for, one, the confidence, and two, the skills that I've learned at my time at university. As I'm sure you've maybe seen online, or that Wendy will maybe discuss, one of the elements of the course is delivering a live event, whether that's going to be now a virtual event. I think that's down to your choice, or whether you want to deliver a live face-to-face event. All these skills that we had to use has enabled me to deliver these events on site, of course assisted, but that's just one example there. Another really great thing about the company is they do fam trips. So these are familiarization trips. So essentially the aim is for you to be able to go to these different places, network, meet clients, and then we would potentially use this as a venue. So just before Christmas, I got to go to Aberdeen in Scotland, somewhere I've never been before. Everything all paid, which was great. I got to take my mum with me. We went to P&J Live, which is a multi-purpose indoor venue in Scotland. It's basically like they've tried to make it the next best thing, I guess, to the O2 in London. That's kind of the size and scale and things that you're looking at. So we had a tour of the venue, got to network with different other events organisations that you can see here. In the evening, this is inside the venue, we got to see Gary Barlow and Leona Lewis in concert, which was great. And then the next day we had a full tour of different places in Aberdeen. So we looked at different museums for conferences and dinners, other kind of spaces that could be used, as well as P&J Live itself, different hotels. We did some wine and beer tasting. So all a kind of a snapshot in 2 days, I guess, of Aberdeen, and to see what it has to offer. So that's a really great experience I've had so far. My PowerPoint is stuck. Okay, so that's everything from my job so far. So I've been in my job since September this year, well, September 21 now, sorry. So just briefly going on to my experience at university, obviously this is something that the other girls have covered already, but you can see here a few modules that I've covered. You can see we had lots of volunteering opportunities at the university as well. They've got very good close links with Goodwood, which I did a summer placement with. So there's lots of great opportunities, different field trips, and lots of opportunities to volunteer as well, which I'd really recommend that if you do go ahead and do the course, to get involved in. I think the more you volunteer, the more confident you get, the more experience you get in different fields. As events is so broad, there's so many different elements to it. So like what I'm doing to Ellie or to Paige is completely different. We're all doing different things. So it's good to kind of explore and see what you like and what you don't like and what's out there, all which is facilitated through the university, which is great. This is just some pictures from the summer placement that I did at Goodwood, which was through the university. I got called back and did a few events with them after as well. And it's all building and developing my skills and liaising with suppliers, clients, contractors, helping the build and the breakdown of the event. So all elements involved. In our second year of university, we, like the other girls, did the Jump Awards. We did Spring Fair, which didn't go ahead because of COVID. It was April 2020 that it was supposed to happen, but we ended up turning it into a virtual event. But regardless, all the prior planning, all the skills that we had to use and put into practice was still evidently there. We're dealing with real life customers and suppliers and clients. A lot of university courses are mainly coursework as such, whereas something different about the University of Chichester is that you do get that real interaction with real clients. Essentially, it's not a made-up assignment of something that you have to do. You actually have to go out and approach these people and speak to them, build these relationships. You actually have to put a physical event on. Of course, Wendy is there to support us, but you are running an event. You have to make sure you abide by all the laws, all the legislations. You've got your contracts and everything in place, do your risk assessments. There's so many elements to it that I just had no idea about before doing this at university. Our third year, so 2021, we delivered a virtual event called A Day in the Arts with Rocks. This was because of COVID. So Wendy completely adapted the university's assignment. Always beforehand, it was a live face-to-face event. The other few, I believe, universities that did do live events, they switched to just a written dissertation. But Wendy spent ages, completely rewrote the whole assignment so that we were able to put on a virtual event. And of course, this matches what was happening in industry at that time. The whole events industry had to switch and deliver virtual events. So this is something when we all went for job interviews that we had experience in, which put us at an advantage, which was really great. And the university was working for Rocks Music and Arts organisation to raise funds for their charity. So again, we do everything for the event. So promotional bits, we had production. We managed to get Tega Alexander, who's a professional dancer and TikTok influencer. He presented the House of Gucci Awards. He's growing and growing and growing. He's so popular. So it was great to get him on board, as well as some other good artists. So this is all things that you're actually having the experience to do within university, this real life industry experience. We built our own website, again, something that no one had ever done or been taught how to do before. All these new skills we're developing. We raised different fundraising competitions to raise funds to put the event on, as well as funds to raise for the actual charity during the event. We had our own backdrop made to film the event. We had to do this obviously from home because of COVID. And here's some examples of some different kind of competitions that we did to kind of build engagement, get people involved and try and raise as much funds as possible, all which we did through strategy, of course, which was the theoretical parts. We did a dance-a-thon as well, and this event alone raised about £600, getting everyone involved, which was really great. And this is just a slide that was just from my current job now. When I started, they did a nice little Instagram post when I began, which was really lovely. So that's everything really. But if you have any questions at all, there's my email there. You can just pop me across a message, and I'd love to help.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amy, for an enlightening presentation. And now this is the part of the webinar where I will invite our guests to ask the panel questions. Feel free to ask them anything at all that comes to mind about the course, about their careers, how they got their jobs, whatever comes to mind. You can do that by audio, but just remember to take yourself off of mute, or you can put questions in the chat. So while we wait for questions to come in via the chat, Ellie, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think it's really interesting listening to the girls. There's obviously, I haven't spoken to them both for a while, so it's really interesting to see what everyone's up to now. And yeah, I just think it's a good example of what you can do. I love that we've all done something completely different. It's exciting.
Yeah. I think what I would like to add is that we're located in Chichester, so the event management degree is based in Chichester, and there is just a wealth of part-time jobs in Chichester that you can do that is linked to the degree. So if you do join us, we do have a careers department that would help you to find some of those part-time jobs. But a lot of those part-time jobs also come from former students through to me, and then I post them on a Moodle forum that we have. So like Paige said, it comes out from me and you just need to apply. And I think that's really great when you can get a part-time job that's linked to your degree. Some of those part-time jobs you can then turn into placements. We got lots of barns and lots of B&B hotels that do different types of events, lots of wedding venues in barns, lots of conferences and business meetings at small conference venues. We've got Goodwood, and you know, so it's different to like some jobs that people do in their uni. They have to be a waiter or waitress, not necessarily so in Chichester, because we could find you good jobs linked to your degree, and having a job that's linked to your degree actually enhances your ability to write the degree as well. Right, I see some people are typing questions, so I'll just wait for those to come through and then I'll read them out. Paige, is there anything else that you would like to add from your presentation that you would like our guests to know about?
No, not that I can think of. Just again, like it's so events is that like we don't just cover our weddings or parties. Like it's so there's so many different sections to it. So yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And with an event degree, former students have also gone into fields other than just planning events. Some of them are, like, for instance, the brand manager she's the brand and event manager at Rolls-Royce. Megan, she is an event management graduate. So she's the brand and event manager. We've got people who went on to be venue managers, where they run the whole venue. So they don't actually plan the events, but they supervise the team that does. We have students who've gone on to be like social media consultants. So they do all the social media for the client, and that's their role. We have people who discovered that they had skills that they didn't know that they had, like hosting and script writing. Are skills that you really don't get to use unless you're working in media. So there's really a whole host of different roles and different types of jobs that you can do. So we've got a question from someone, a user called 15E Burton. Thank you very much for your question. And it is, how do you manage your uni work and planning an event with a business at the same time? So who would like to answer that question?
I'll answer this one. It is a challenge. Right now, I'm struggling a lot with this because I've got my dissertation to do, and I'm also now working so full in the job. It is hard to switch my brain. So if I have a day off, sometimes I'm still at work in my head. But I have spoken to them recently and actually said I need some more time to work on my dissertation because I'm kind of not doing it as much as I should. So at the moment, I do 4 days at work. One of those can be dissertation, and then 2 days off, and one of those is normally dissertation. So I get one whole day to myself as well, to just rest and recover, ready for the next week. But yeah, it is a challenge, but you'll do it.
And it's all really about time management. You really need to set aside the time for work, time for uni work, and make sure that you make the most of your time. So if you've got 4 hours set aside for uni work and you spend it chatting with friends or just, texting, then you're going to be wasting the time. So time management is very important. And the first year module, professional, academic skills module, will teach you how to manage your time and how to manage stress and get over some of those hurdles. But it is better if you've got a job that's linked to your course, because then you can use the job as the field work or the dissertation or the placement. So that would help as well. Yeah. Right. Any other questions? Okay, don't see any other questions in the chat. Yeah.
Wendy, that question as well.
Yes.
It's also, you work as a team within your job as well. So even though you may be, even if you're the only event manager there, you have a team that will help you plan the event. So don't just think you've got to plan this massive thing by yourself, as well as doing your uni work. And the lecturers give so much support. So just send emails if you feel like you're falling behind or anything. And organisation is a massive one.
Yeah, and although we are teaching face-to-face, and we highly recommend that you attend all of your face-to-face lessons, you can, if you think you're struggling, book a tutorial online. So we do online tutorials through Teams. We wouldn't encourage you to join a lecture online, because a lot of what we do, especially in the event sector, is about getting hands-on and practical and going out and seeing people and going. Like today, we were at the venue in Chichester walking around. So you can't do that online, but for other things like meeting with lecturers, asking for extra tutorials, extra support, you could do that online. And the time that you save from coming to the uni for a tutor meeting, you can stay at home and use that for your work. So I think with technology as well, we've become a lot more efficient. Okay, right. Any other questions? Okay, we just put them in the chat, or you can talk to us as well. You can take yourself off of mute and you can put your hand up, and you can also talk to us. Amy, is there anything else you would like to add that perhaps you didn't get to say in your presentation?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the class sizes at the University of Chichester. So that was a really big thing for me. So when looking at what university I wanted to go to, I think for everyone it's probably quite daunting if you were to walk into a lecture hall with like 500 seats there. But I don't think I've ever had, well, we have a lecture theatre, but we never used it. All the classrooms are seminars, so they're all classroom style based. All the classes are really small. It depends on the intake each year, but in my class there was only 8 of us on the event management course. But even so, you get to mix with the other students on the business that study business management as well. So there's different modules, whether it's HR or finance or marketing, that you get to mix in between. But even so, there wouldn't be any more than maybe like 20 students. So they're really small class sizes, really interactive learning. You're not facing a crowd. You get to know your lecturers one-on-one. You get that personal relationship. I was always emailing Wendy, like, can you help me with this? Can we have a meeting with that? Whereas if you go to a huge university of loads of students, you're not going to get that level of support. So that was something that was really, really big for me. And I know that some of my other friends that went to larger universities, I know that's something they struggle with, just because it's not possible with the large number of students to do that on that intimate level. And another thing as well, like I studied purely event management, although we do a mix of other modules as well, business, marketing, HR, etc. Ellie did events and marketing, so you can have a dual pathway, but it's not something that you have to decide straight away, which is again something really good that the university offer. So you could start off in your first year just doing events, or just doing marketing, or maybe you're doing finance, and then partway through you decide, oh, actually I really like this element, or I really like that element, and then you can change. Some people had completely changed across courses. A lot of people will split their dual pathway, and even up until the beginning really of your second year, you can then decide, oh, actually, I really want to do events and HR or events and business. So that's just a really nice other element that the university offer.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Those are some really, really good points. I just want to add before I take a question from Daisy Tracy that we at University of Chichester is all really about personalization, personalized learning. So although there is group learning in very small groups, the biggest class will probably be about 20 to 24 students. And even then, that may be the initial size, but then if you're planning an event, that group is going to be split up into 3 different classes because each event is going to have a different sort of need. But we do a lot of face-to-face, one-on-one tutorials. Individual support is included. And just to let you know that Amy and I actually last year, we wrote a paper together because it was only you on the module. Strategic hospitality. So what we decided to do was to take advantage of that and form a partnership with the assessment. So Amy did all of the research for her assessment on virtual events, a paper that she wrote on virtual events. She researched the industry. And then once it was marked and everything, then we took the paper, got together, and I sort of like changed it up a little bit, add some bits to it. And it's actually published as an academic journal. And actually some students are citing your work, actually, Amy, now in their essays. So that was really amazing to collaborate on a piece of research, and Amy did a really good job. And that's possible. That sort of thing is possible because the classes are small and we could collaborate. Also, another collaboration that Ellie did was Ellie and a team of 3 other students wrote a public relations strategy for the business school. So there's a lot of partnership work going on as well. We see you not as students, but as partners and as equal individuals. And I think that that's really nice that we can do that. And you don't really get that at a lot of universities. So Daisy Tracy has a question. How much time is spent in lectures during the week? So that's a very common question and a very, very important question. Who would like to take that one? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll answer it.
I don't mind. Depends which road you're going down. For example, I just done event management and it's normally split between, so this semester I have 4 modules split over 4 days, and they're all half days, so they're 3 hours per module. So it's this week, I think I do a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday and a Friday, but they're all morning, so they're all 9 till 12, which is nice because then you get your whole afternoon to either go into the LRC and carry on, or you can go home and work from home, or if you have something planned, you can always plan it just after it. So they're nice and short, and if you have got a full day, then you get a good break in between as well, so you get a good hour's lunch.
Yes, it's usually, especially in the first and second year, 12 hours split between 3 hours per module, and that's the amount of time you would spend in the classroom. And then the rest of the time would be mainly independent study, because most of uni is actually independent study. So after the webinars or the seminars, the lectures, you then go, you meet up with your groups and you're working on some sort of project. You may have to go out and meet with businesses. You may have to go and interview people. You may have to go and do some reading, some research. So a lot of the time is really free time for independent study. Some people are naughty and don't do that. They may, if they've got a job, they may go for a job, or they go and spend a time with a boyfriend. So, you're an adult in uni. You decide how you want to spend your time based on, what you want to get out of your degree. If you're in the final year, you will spend less time in the classroom. In the final year, you're probably out on a 10-week work placement. So that means that you're in a company. You're not in the classroom. You're in a company 1 day a week on your 10-week placement, if you choose to do that. And you're writing your dissertation. So writing your dissertation is an independent piece of work. So you will be probably in the library, probably out handing out questionnaires or doing some form of research. If you are planning an event for your dissertation, which is also an option, then you will probably not be in the classroom, but you'll be out pitching to sponsors, meeting people, meeting up with suppliers, discussing event requirements, meeting with the event team, meeting with the district council, that type of thing. So it's very hands-on. It's really not a course where you sit down in the classroom all the time. We do field trips abroad. We do field trips within the UK, and hopefully those will resume. We're resuming field trips this year, actually. So we're going to Confex, which is a big event exhibition at London Excel. We're doing that on the 9th of March. Just a lot of, just getting out there, meeting people. So yes, it's just really 12 hours in the classroom. The rest of the time you're on your own to use it as you see fit. Right. Let's see if we have any other questions in the chat. No, we don't. Okay, well, we have 1 minute left. So I don't know if anyone in the panel would like to maybe give us 20 seconds summary of anything that you wish to say before we end the webinar. No?
I will.
Okay.
I'll try and be as quick as I can. So yeah, just overall, I really enjoyed my 3 years at the University of Chichester. COVID obviously was a huge impact to everyone, but it didn't stop me from getting a first class honours, nor any of my friends. The support was just incredible from the university, and I know that going forward it will be as well. Just wanted to again highlight about the small size classrooms, the support you get, and the practicalness of the course with the live events being offered, but also as well, if you want to do the dissertation, then you can do that option. So it's a real good balance.
Mm-hmm. And I also like to add, because I know a lot of unis don't provide this, but we give you career support for life. So we help you with your CVs, and we have a really amazing careers department that not only advertise placements and jobs, but they help you to modify your CV to maybe match the role that you're going into. They will give you mock interviews and help you to find a job. And then that's not it. You could come back to us at any time throughout your career if you feel you need support, if you want to attend any of our employability seminars. You've got career support for life. Right, so I think that is where I would end the webinar. I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining. We do have other webinars coming up. The next webinar, we are planning to have employers come to speak to you about their companies, what roles are available in their companies, and what they like about students at the University of Chichester that they hire. And we probably have some other students or graduates attending that webinar as well. That should be at the end of March, and you will be sent invitations. I would also like to invite you to contact me if you would like to discuss the course further. I can meet with you on a phone call, one-on-one, or if you would like to visit the university and maybe get a tour and meet with me, I welcome that as well. I will be emailing everyone, letting you know what times I will be available, and don't be shy, just respond, email me, and I'd be happy to sit with you one-on-one if you want to discuss your application or if you want to talk more about the course. So thank you all very much. Heartfelt thank you to Ellie, Amy, and Paige for joining us, taking the time to join us. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Do have a wonderful evening, and hopefully I'll get to meet you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.